So it's just doing over and above, giving more than you're being paid for. So if there's anything being done out there that requires anyone, you're available.
CTA with Kenneth, video 2.
You never truly know people until you take the time out to get to know people. We're doing 100 leadership stories. We're on story number 4 with the managing director of Centum RE. We're going to be talking more about that, none other than Ken Mbae. Got that right? So now where we are in this story, 2004, you finished. Back to you.
So when you finish school and there's the 2-year gap wait. So my parents didn't want me to be idle for a minute. So they got me to volunteer, to spend time, not at home, not with any company, but to be in a working environment.
What?
I was taken as a volunteer to Nanyuki Sports Club to hang around there. Either I was in James Moreo's office, who is the club secretary. I used to work there, not being paid, but just to see the real work environment. But I know my mom really got it because she didn't want me to be idle.
Wow.
So if you remember...
First of all, I've interviewed Ginadine.
Yes.
And they owned that.
No, there is Sportman Arms.
Oh, Sportman Arms,
and
yes.
And then directly opposite Sportman Arms is Nanyuki Sports Club, where there is a golf.
Oh.
Where people play golf.
Yeah. Yes, I get it. But you know of Sportman Arms as well?
Yes, I know it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Sportman Arms, yes.
Okay. So you are at Nanyuki Sports Club.
Yes.
And first of all, how intentional were your parents?
I think they must have been.
Are you a parent now?
Yes, I'm a parent.
How many?
I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl.
Yes.
So now as a parent, do you look and understand the intentionality that your parents had for you?
Yes. I have to craft it intentionally because part of what I am was crafted by the parents. Now is when I sort of put it together. Okay. Yeah.
And your mom, it looks like she's the one who got you. She even went out of her way to connect you with.
Yeah. So I think their philosophy was different. Give you what they can, the best they think should, and use their network based on how they gauge you to get you the first job or the first placement or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is an unpaid placement. Tell us more about it.
Unpaid placement. So if you remember, in January, like it is now, it gets so hot. So you're used to school, soft life. Results used to come on 20-something of February. So when you're at home during that duration, you know how things are. No one gave you pocket money, you're broke. Then now, if results arrived and you had significantly disagreed with the examiner, you would sort of say, I want to go back to Form 2 or Form 3 and make my life better. Yeah. But then me over December, I was at the club doing I would say, sort of internship or just on-job training to understand how people work.
And what were you doing?
Writing minutes. I was being trained on many things, taking things to rooms, going where they need to cut grass. I was just doing all manner of things, but I was required to be there unpaid. And I stayed there. I stayed there until I went to campus. Eventually, I got paid and carried on. Yes, I stayed. I even got employed at the reception after I got my ID. So I would spend time there with people who are playing golf, business people. That's how now I started maybe understanding the need to work.
The last 3 leaders who have sat here, I'll even say the last 4, have all talked about this thing called exposure.
Yeah.
Leila Macharia, who also is part of the Centum family, she even sits on the Centum board.
Yeah.
And I'm sure even probably...
She sits on my board.
Yes, she sits on your board.
Yes.
Look at that. What are the coincidences?
Yeah.
This wasn't planned, by the way.
Yeah.
Talks about exposure. So you are working and not being paid.
Yes.
That can be every reason for you to complain and growl and even throw a fit.
Yeah.
But this thing begins to open up your mind. Tell us a little bit about this exposure time.
So we were required to report at 7 in the morning. our home is far, but not too far from the club. So I would walk in the morning. So I would leave, 8. So I would leave at 6:30, 6:45, walk, and get to the club. There was an option of you being given transport, but I was never given. My mom refused, and my dad also said, no, that's too much. You can just walk. What are you doing? So I used to walk in the morning, leave 6:30, go to the club, and in the evening, just walk back home.
Yes.
In the first few months while I was there, I was working with Patrick. He really impacted my life.
Patrick who?
Moreo.
Okay.
He was the club secretary, and many other friends I made there. But I would occasionally take minutes. I would be trained how to receive calls. I would take guests to reception. I would be a starter at the golf when people are registering for golf.
Wow.
So I was doing many, many things. I was the guy doing everything. I would do filing. I would do invoicing. If people are writing the monthly statements for members, I would be anyone who requires additional resource. Ken was at their disposal. But I kept making friends there. Then I was paid. I started being paid 7,000 shillings.
Wow.
And now, when I was paid first, I informed my parents, which should not have been a good idea. Then they said if they were them, they would then make it easy to go to work. That is the money they would use to buy a bike. So I bought my first mountain bike. I really liked it. I used to cycle from now home
To work.
to work. So I didn't waste a bit of that money.
Yeah.
So I would go up, down. Then the results came in February. And of course, I had passed. When we were there, maybe no one thought. Anyway, when you see people, you don't know them. So I did a bit well.
Yes.
And everyone was happy. So I started getting more responsibility. So then I was taken to a night shift. So in a club, how it works, there's a shift that reports at 7 to 3 p.m. And then there's another shift that gets in at 3 and leaves at midnight. So I got into that shift. So I would be in the morning, and then I rest the following day, then I go in the evening.
And it was safe for you to ride home?
No, not right now. You're dropped at You're dropped at home. But in the morning, yes. I was doing okay. So then you start doing driving, computer. You have a series of things that you're training on, that your additional skills that you're acquiring.
Yeah.
To keep preparing you for the job.
Okay, let me ask this, Ken. Huh?
Yeah.
Again, normal is not normal. A golf club has, lack of a better word, the elite of society. That's what they do for their pastimes. Now, this brings you in proximity with them. A lot of people want to meet a lot of people for the sake of mentorship, for the sake of opportunities. But there's a time to ask and there's a time not to ask. There's a time to behave in a certain way. You probably rubbed shoulders with very prominent people of society. What did you do with that? Or how did you keep your cool to not try and extract opportunities? You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to ask?
So I don't know how I approached it, but I just continued doing my work because I knew, I pushed myself to just continue working, knowing them. You know, when they are there, they're also normal. You didn't tell there's any difference. And some of their kids were in school with them. So I actually found it that I was privileged to be working. And most of the time I had some money. It's not.
Yes.
Yes, I had money then because you're being paid. Wow. So it was okay, but I didn't feel like it was a privilege to know anyone. Okay,
but did your mind think, I like that car, I want to be wealthy, or I want to be a businessman? Because you're working now and you're earning money.
Yeah. So
at a very young age, even before university.
Yes.
Wow.
So I wanted to have that lifestyle, but I thought I could be successful. And success means now having access to that lifestyle because people are running the best hardwares, people running the best farms, people running the best petroleum businesses who are there. So I thought, it told me if I start a business, you can't be successful. But I never paid much attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
out of just coincidental serendipity,
Yeah.
did you happen to meet your boss right now? Because I know he's got a hotel in that area. But at that time before, did you bump into James Moore by any chance?
Yes, but it didn't occur to me many things, but I bumped to him. And I think he was in Nairobi more. So the people you bump onto are the locals around that area.
And again, one last thing before we continue with this story is Nyanyuki has a lot of, it's cosmopolitan in that there's also a lot of British settlers who are there.
Yeah.
Either from the barracks or even just from naturalized Kenyans. Let me say that. In fact, a lot of people call them the KCs, the Kenyan cowboys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of whites also in Nyanyuki.
Yeah.
So you are not just and were they also in the golf course?
Yeah, you interact with everyone. All races, let me put it that way, were there.
Okay.
And you interact with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Again, you're saying it like it's a normal thing, but there are places in this country that those foreigners or the Kenyans, naturalized Kenyans, were not there.
Yes, but there it's anyone who has grown in that area, there one way or another there is an interaction.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you start getting paid. You're even now put onto the night shifts.
Yes.
You are earning 7,000 about 2005 now.
Yes, or they're about 7,000. Yeah.
So tell us more. What happens there? Your results come in. You do well.
I do well. I get a job. I continue working. The Joint Admission Board letter comes. I think, it comes. We check. I'd been admitted to do biochemistry to Nairobi University. Then in 2006, August, I come. But then at the club, I'd worked well. Patrick tells me, when you're back on holiday, you come. So when I was in campus, every holiday I used to work. I used to go back to the club for work.
What?
Yes, I used to go. Every holiday I used to go back to club to work.
Why did he call you back?
I was sort of, maybe, I don't know, I did maybe well for him.
What is well? Because now you're a MD of a company.
Yes.
So there's probably those traits that you're looking. And I'm asking these questions more so for the young people who may be watching and wondering, what is that thing that you're working and they're not kicking you out first and foremost?
Yeah.
Not only are they not kicking you out, they like you so much, they tell you, when you come back from holiday, still come, you'll have a job. That's paying you.
Yes, I used to go back. I used to have a job every time. So it's just doing over and above, giving more than you're being paid for. So if there's anything being done out there that requires anyone, you're available and you do it exceptionally well. Now I know, maybe I reflect because I interact with Patrick, but I think I was a bit dependable to him and to other colleagues, Wawero and everyone, the reception team, the team at the restaurants. I was a bit more dependable, maybe. So anytime I came back, or even them, they would ask me, "Are you available?" Then you can take leave because this guy will be a nice replacement.
I mean, that is such a... you've said it, Kenny, I'm enjoying this. You're saying it like it's normal, but you've just given people secrets right there. You've talked about dependability, and you've said something. You went up above and beyond what was required of you.
Yes.
And that sounds like a trait that is a leadership foundation for you that has led you to where you are right now.
Yes, I think you must give more than you ever receive. In anything, if you want something, you must give more than you'll ever receive.
But Ken, you're not being paid. Pay me. The narrative that is there is, I'm doing all of this, pay me more.
It never occurred to me. Maybe I thank God I never thought of asking for payment because I would never have gotten the opportunities I got.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you come to Nairobi University?
No, Kenyatta University.
Kenyatta University.
Yes.
So, and it's your as you said, you traveled to Nairobi for further studies.
Yes.
How is that now like? Because you're now mixing with different tribes. It's a completely different environment from this Nyanyuki. Am I right?
So, yes.